You are listening to the Horse Radio Network, part of the Equine Network family.
What a beautiful day for horses in the morning.
You are listening to the #1 horse podcast in the world. Here is your entertaining look at the horse world and the people in it.
I'm back, and I am Glenn the Geek in Ocala, Florida.
And you don't sound like James Earl Jones.
No,
Jeez,
I was hoping, but it didn't happen.
I'm Jamie Jennings in Norman, Oklahoma. You're listening to Horses in the Morning on the Horse Radio Network for Wednesday, October 30th, episode 3551. Good morning, and oh my gosh, happy Halloween.
And that's about our Halloween coverage for this year. Everybody knows it's my favorite holiday. Actually, I will tell you that Ashley put together a holiday special, a Halloween special for tomorrow. And she took some of the stories we've done in the past, the Halloween stories, and put them all together for you. So there'll be a special Halloween episode for you tomorrow, thanks to Ashley. But on today's show, we have the amazing artist Jean Abernethy. She's going to be joined by author Mare Ehlers, and they're going to talk about their new book called Fergus Learns S'mores Code. We're going to talk about that. The book has a poignant message. And then we have a guest coming on, Dr. Keener from the University of Kentucky. Is going to tell us about her new study on rider pain. I think she knew you were on the show. And that's
I'm like, currently can't turn my neck left, so it's fine.
There you go. So I heard about your ride I listened to Monday's show. So I heard all about your ride the other day with all the deer. And I figured you probably had some pain by now. So we're going to talk about that. Plus, we have some weird news, and then we'll do a quick post show for you. It hasn't been a while since we've done one of those. I'm back. Last Tuesday, I had my surgery. 3 hours. I asked the doctor yesterday when I saw him. I said, what do you do up in my nose for 3 hours? He said, we did everything in your nose for 3 hours. So
that's so hot.
I know. I'm getting better. My voice is still not 100%, but I'll do the best I can today. But otherwise, guess what I can do? Now, I can breathe through my nose, which I haven't been able to do in years. So,
oh my gosh, it's amazing. Congrats.
I know. It is. And they didn't nick anything important or, have an accident, which I was very excited about. So all good. I am here. Hopefully can get back to normal in a couple of weeks here, and my voice can get back to normal, and I'll sound like James Earl Jones.
Any minute.
I asked him to do that before when he saw me before we went in. I said, can you arrange that? He said, I'll do my best. Obviously, he failed his mission to do that.
You never know. You might wake up tomorrow morning like, hey, ladies, how's it going?
I can't even do that right now, the deep thing. All right, let's do some Daily Whinnies. We have a couple of auditor birthdays, Hannah Jacobson and Mackenzie Jobbley. Happy birthday to both of you. And I know that you guys played the Radiothon promo on Monday. Thank you to Ashley for helping put that together. We are a little behind, so we're going to be asking for your help a lot to get your entries in. Go to holidayradiothon.com to find all the details, because between moving, hurricanes, and surgery, I'm a little behind. But we have lots of terrific prizes. I've been getting those in, and I think it's going to be $3,000 or $4,000 worth this year. We're working on our guests now, but it's your turn out there to work on your entries. Get your singing voices up, get your poetic juices flowing, and get your entries in. Or you can just enter to win prizes. You can do that without submitting anything at holidayradiothon.com. That's all open right now.
Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. I'm so excited. It's our horse radio network, My Racehorse Horse. His name is Caldera, and his first race is Friday. Fingers crossed. Churchill Downs, race 5. He drew post position 6, and he runs at 3:14 on Friday. So please, if you are a part of the Caldera family network, feel free to make sure you watch that race. It's going to be exciting.
I might have to download one of those betting apps. I don't have one yet.
Well, now what they're saying about him is, so his trainer, Dwayne Lucas, likes to kind of use races to condition. So I don't know if they're expecting giant things from him. This is kind of a shorter race. I think it's only 6 furlongs. And so it's his first one, and it's a maiden special weight. So
so they're all maidens in the race?
They're all maidens. None of them have ever won
anything. Could happen.
Oh, yeah. Anything can happen. So I think some of the other ones have had races before, though. So they at least have an idea of what's going on. But Caldera, man, he just seems, it's funny. I purchased a share of Caldera. Really excited. He's showing tons of promise. He's had a bunch of bullet works. He's just been a monster. And then I bought a share in a horse named Improbable Luck.
Was it improbable?
It's probably improbable. I mean, they're like, it's so funny because they send updates every week on the works, and they really keep all the owners up to date on what's going on. And all of the things are like, well, we understand he's just really young and doesn't quite understand it yet. And I think Dwayne Lucas was like, we ran the legs off of him. Like he's tired. Like, he didn't want to do it. Like, he's been working alongside other horses, and he's supposed to win. And he doesn't.
So this one's coming your way through the rescue very shortly?
Quite possibly. Improbable Luck will be in my barn.
It's the Breeders' Cup this weekend too, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, there's all sorts of fun stuff going on this weekend in the horse world. So I can't keep up with it all. I had the craziest morning, Glenn. I'm sorry. Like, I'm a little scattered probably today because... So Anna,
another wolf. I listened to that from Monday's show.
Not a wolf, okay. Not a wolf this time. No, it was. I take Anna to the end of my driveway, and she picks up the bus there. And so the bus came, so she got out of the car, and I drove back up to my house. Yes, I spoil her.
You are making her do all of the things. Taking the bus to school.
She takes the bus to and from school. That's kind of part of the deal. And so I got back to the house. I sat down. I was like, okay, I got to get all my weird news together. And I pick up my phone, and it's a text from Anna. Their bus has been in a crash.
Oh, geez.
I was like, wait a second, I just left you. So the next road that they cross, somebody without their lights on at a high rate of speed hit the bus. So I'm like, I'm on my way, baby. I get in my car, and there's 9 million police cars. They've shut down the highway. This car crashed into the bus. I guess the driver said he was going, it's across a highway, like a 4-lane highway. So he's going to make a left turn, and he was like, I looked every way, and that car was not there. And he said the lights were off, and the guy was coming 100 miles an hour, and he didn't see him. He pulled out, and this guy just creamed the bus. It almost tipped over.
Idiot.
And emotions were high. So I just told Anna, get in the car. I'm like, get in the car, baby. I'm taking you home. Not sending you to school. You've been in a wreck. So I met some other nice parents there on the side of the highway in the morning in my pajamas. Yeah.
So did you bring her home?
PJs. Of course. She's in the other room.
Okay.
She went to take a nap.
She's getting all the American experiences here.
I said, have you ever been in a car accident before? And she was like, no. And I said, well, congratulations. Because we're both crying. I couldn't stop crying either. I'm like, congratulations. I'm making sure you've done all the things. This will be a story you can tell for the rest of your life. You're welcome.
Do they even have seatbelts on buses anymore? Or now?
No, I don't think so.
They never did. I never understood why you had to in a car, but on a bus you weren't supposed to. I never got that.
If you look at the two cars, the bus barely had a dent, right? But it flipped it all the way around, and almost flipped over. The guy's car smashed. Buses are tanks. To get hit that fast, and one kid in the back hit his head on the window, I guess, and so they were sending him to get a checkup.
Scary as crap, though.
Oh my God. Oh my God, how scary. And then to just see I don't know, I'm talking to her on the bus. They wouldn't let her out, it was terrible. It was very terrible. So that's why I'm a little behind and probably a little scattered this morning. It was not the morning that I had anticipated. When you get a phone call or a text like that, all the emotions go through your head. All of the thoughts go through your head. All of the what ifs and all of the thank gods and all of the things.
In about 10 seconds, they all go through there.
Yeah. And now I've been sitting on this for about an hour now, and I'm just like emotionally exhausted. So, but she's home. She's okay. Everybody's okay. I talked to the driver. He's okay too. He's like, bless his heart. He's like 112. Like I've been driving buses for 18 years. This is my first wreck. You know, I was like, well, glad everybody's okay.
Sounds like there's not much he could have done about it. I mean, it wasn't his problem.
Yeah.
What is it with people? She's had to go to some doctors too, and she's had some very close calls here in the last week and a half. And it's people crazy. Doing stupid things, just stupid things.
Yeah. Remember when we were younger, we'd be like, somebody would be weaving on the road. We're like, oh, that guy's drunk.
Yeah.
You know, now you're like, oh, put down your phone.
Exactly. Exactly. And I think they're causing more accidents than anything. But I mean, she's just had people passing her in no passing zones and almost hitting the car coming the other way. It's just passing. A lot of the accidents here are people passing when they shouldn't be passing.
Yeah.
You know, that's
stupid.
That's where they end up in an accident. Well, let's go to our first guest. We have our old friend, and we have an exciting announcement about her too. I'm going to tell you about at the end. Jean Abernethy. She, of course, is the Fergus artist who's been on our show many times. She does all the Fergus books. She has a new one out, and this one was co-authored by Mare Ehlers. And we're going to get both of them on to talk about this new book that has a message. Well, hi, Mare. Thanks for joining us today. I understand you're out there doing a show right now, so we won't keep you too long. But thanks for joining us today, and I'm excited to talk about your new book called Fergus Learns S'mores Code. And I love this. Of course, s'mores, everybody thinks of s'mores, but you have a different meaning for spores. Kind of tell us about that.
Absolutely. Yes. So s'mores is a mnemonic device for biosecurity and taking precautions against equine viruses such as EHV1. And I came up with the idea in the 2022 EHV1 outbreak when my horse actually contracted EHV1. The name S'mores comes from my friend's horse name was S'more, and he was the first to pass away in the outbreak.
Oh, wow.
And so in our little camper on the showgrounds, my mother and I came up with this simple acronym because myself, like me, I didn't even know all the steps that you needed to take for precautions. I learned all of this being in quarantine. And each letter just stands for a different precaution. So S would stand for sanitize, just to clean and disinfect. There's monitor. It's really important to monitor our horse's temperature twice a day. The O stands for observe, just observing their symptoms, and especially observing symptoms before you go anywhere, knowing if something's abnormal. The R stands for report. It's really important to report a sick horse so that you can take proper quarantine measures and prevent everyone else from getting sick. The E stands for educate. It's very important to keep yourself educated so that you can practice these steps yourself. And then finally, S is for separate. And that additionally is important because if a horse is sick and rubs their face on the polo wraps, and then you put those polo wraps on another horse, then that horse can then get sick.
So all of this happened while you were at a show?
Yeah.
Oh, geez. I mean, I'm very sorry to hear about your friend's horse and yours. Did yours recover?
He did. He's not showing, but he's alive and retired and living a happy life.
Oh, I'm sorry he had to be retired, but I'm glad he's still with you. EHV1 is something we've talked about so many times over the last 14 years doing this show. And it's so scary. Yeah. And and when it happens, it becomes extra scary because of everything that happens around you. It's like the world goes into high speed at the show, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
So where did the idea of a book come from?
I really thought that if we teach these precautions to children when they're younger, when they grow up with these just kind of drilled in their brain, it would leave less room for error. So my idea was, something as simple as, it's not just a children's book, it is for everyone, but directed towards children, it creates a good habit to practice these skills and just on their ponies. And I just thought that this was the best way to prevent this in years to come.
I think it's a great idea. Where did the idea of talking to Jean come from and getting Jean involved and Fergus?
So that's actually kind of a funny story. So when I was talking to Becca, the publishing company we were working with, she asked me to just Google. Oh, she's with Trafalgar Square Books. Sorry.
Yep. Yeah, we know them well.
She asked me to Google just some pictures of horse cartoons and just to send her a couple of styles that I liked. And one of the ones I sent her actually happened to be of Fergus, and that was my favorite. I said, if you can find anything as close to this, that would be great. And she said, we actually do work with the illustrator of Fergus, and then reached out to Jean.
Jean, was this fun book? It's a serious topic, but that also it creates a little bit of a challenge with Fergus too, right?
Oh, absolutely, but it wasn't a difficult challenge at all. I had enormous fun doing this, and one of my mantras is, if it ain't fun, don't do it. So, yeah, we dived in, and I thought the cause behind this whole concept, that's something I can definitely get behind. So Fergus and I jumped on board, and there, Bob's your uncle. There we are.
How long does it take you to illustrate a book like this?
Oh, gosh, I don't even count the hours anymore. There would be, I don't even know if I could tell you, there'd be maybe 20 hours in each illustration, 20 to 40, something like that, depending on the image.
In each illustration?
Yeah.
Wow. That's a long time. And were you, Mare, when you got the first illustrations back, did you go, oh, yes, that's it? Or were there revisions?
Yeah.
Yeah?
There were a few revisions, really just with small things, nothing crazy. I mean, it really started to come to life when I got the first illustration.
If I turned my video on right now, Mare, you would see a picture that Jean did, and it's hanging right on my wall, right behind my head in the studio. It's in the most prominent place. Picture that Jean did during an event that we put on one night. It's one of my favorite things ever. It's my co-host and I with Fergus in the Mill. I just love that thing. And so you picked the right one is what I'm saying. You did well. Picking Jean was the right move.
I agree. I love Jean. I love her illustrations.
So where is the book available? It's called Fergus Learns S'mores Code. And is it available right now?
It is on Amazon.
Okay, we'll put a link to it on Amazon. You can go get it. What a great holiday gift. What a great Christmas gift for young or old alike. Doesn't matter. A great stocking stuffer. Yeah. And I'm glad you're doing it at this time. And I'm glad you put this out there. And I love your cause. I think it's great. And we're going to let you go walk your course, but there's an announcement we have to make, don't we, Jean, before we let you two go? I haven't announced yet, Jean, that Jean is going to join us, Jamie, on Radiothon, and she's going to do a live drawing during Radiothon. She's going to do a Fergus holiday drawing, and we're going to check in with her all through the day as she's doing the drawing. And I just think that sounds like a blast. So isn't that fun?
That sounds like fun.
We have to make sure your technology's working, so I'll get back with you, Jean, and we'll meet ahead of time, okay?
Yeah, you bet. That'll be perfect then.
All right, sounds good. Well, congratulations to the two of you. The book's called Fergus Learns S'mores Code. And, Jean, I'll talk to you soon.
You bet. Thank you. Nice to talk to you, Mare.
Thank you. Nice talking to you.
Good luck today, Mare. Kick butt out there.
Thank you.
All right. See you both.
Yeah, you go, girl.
I think it's going to be so much fun to have Jean joining us in Radiothon live throughout the day that we can check in with her. And she does these drawings on computer, so we can hook it up that we'll be able to see what she's doing all day long.
It's awesome.
It is kind of cool. I mean, it is really cool the way she can do that. But I'm excited about that. State Line Tack. Right now we're starting to think about the holidays and buying stuff and Christmas gifts, all of that stuff. And one of the places you can go is statelinetack.com. Right now, if you go there, one of the things they're highlighting is blankets of all sorts. And I will clue you in that there's a couple weather beaded blankets in the Radiothon giveaways. You're the first to hear this. There's a couple of those in the Radiothon giveaways. But right now, you can also find some blankets, depending on the size and colors and things available. You can shop on State Line Tack right now. They have the Mio blankets and several of others. Plus, they have a big section of gifty ideas, and you can get practical ideas for the holidays. You can get gift ideas. You can get stuff for riders. You can get stuff for horses. You can get stuff for the stables. It doesn't matter. You can find it all right now at statelinetack.com. Check them out today. All right, we're going to go to our horse health report. It's brought to you by Daily Dose Equine, non-GMO core nutrition for horses and ponies of all ages. And we're going to be talking today about rider pain. Again, segment was made for you.
I'm pleased to welcome to the show Micheale and Lizzy. And Micheale has her PhD, and Lizzy is a PhD student at UK. Hello, ladies. Thanks for joining us.
Hello. Hi. Thank you so much for having us.
So we are going to talk about, as an equestrian myself, I would like to say that, I never have any pain. What would make you want to do a pain study on a rider? That's crazy. So I guess the first question is is it people like me that when they stand up, they won't pass a vet check, kind of like limping around? Is that what made you want to do a study on equestrian pain?
Well, I've been studying equestrians since my undergrad at the University of Minnesota of Duluth. I continued into my master's and then through my PhD, and now as an assistant professor, that's everything I focus on is the equestrian. And so from the research, we know that 52 to 56% of equestrians are experiencing some form of chronic pain. And
that's all? I would have guessed really 95%.
I think that's low.
Yeah, so that's what the research kind of says. And we see higher rates of, up to 82, 85% in certain areas like our professional dressage riders. But when we look at the general equestrian population, between 50 and 56% is really what we're seeing most of the research say.
Is eventers 125%? Is that?
Oh, possibly. They have so many acute injuries.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about, Hush. So now you're giving a big number there, but like you said, dressage riders have a higher level of pain. Are these studies also kind of coinciding with the ages of the riders?
Yeah, so a recent literature review that's not quite yet published is suggesting that it's kind of mixed. They're seeing that some studies are saying it's the younger riders who are riding more. And then obviously we have these older populations that continue to ride, and the longevity of equestrian is a huge thing that I care about as an equestrian myself. And so other studies are saying it's these older populations as well. So it's kind of across the board. I think most equestrians probably experience some form of chronic pain across their participation in the sport.
Gotcha. Micheale, now, Dr. Keener, talk a little bit about your part in this.
So, as I mentioned, my part is I bring the equestrian aspect. And so I come from the sports medicine background, purely research, but Lizzy is actually where the chronic pain stuff comes from. So I'll let her talk a little bit.
Oh, sorry. I said the wrong name. My bad. It's hard with two at the same time. Sorry.
No, really. Totally fine. So I am a certified athletic trainer. I work with people who are physically active and want to stay in their sport and continue high levels of physical activity. I started getting into pain research during my master's, quite honestly, because I had a chip on my shoulder about everyone saying that men tolerate pain better than women. So I wanted to investigate that one a little further.
I think that's the exact opposite, I would say.
You know what? And honestly, got some research to kind of push that idea. But
nice.
Long story short, I'm very interested in how acute pain can transition to chronic, how we can rehabilitate that better so it doesn't happen. And also, chronic pain is associated with higher rates of disability. And I think in the end, both Micheale and I want to help people stay doing the things that they enjoy and love for as long as possible. And so further looking into chronic pain in this population can give us some insight on that.
Are you coming up with nice therapeutic ways, or is that the next study? Or do you have ideas of is PEMF? We recommend massage, chiropractic, or have you gotten there yet?
Yeah. So as I'm working on my dissertation, those are avenues I'm looking into, but I will say not quite right now. And especially there is very little research about equestrian athletes and pain and even how well they're getting taken care of, because we know that goes back to what kind of resources they have to reach healthcare providers, and if healthcare providers understand the needs of equestrian athletes even. So
we're figuring that stuff out first a little bit better. And then maybe, it'll turn into methods later.
So how do you need help with people? Do you need people to get involved?
Yes, we would
absolutely
love that.
Jamie's your first subject. You can just take every part of her body and it is pain. So
it's cool. I can't look to the left right now, but I can look straight ahead at this microphone and just go ahead and tell us where you need help.
So really, we're looking for any individual that's currently living in the U.S. and participating in equestrian activity. And that can be anyone 18 to 80 years old. So we kind of have that upper limit just because we know chronic pain increases later in life. But we know that equestrians continue to participate across the lifespan. So we're really asking anyone and everyone to do this survey so we can see a broad range of the people who are already experiencing chronic pain, people who have had an acute injury in the last 6 months, and how that might change over the next year. And then also the people who have not recently been injured or have not experienced an injury ever from riding, which I know that number is very little. Very little. I think my recent survey showed 4% of people had never had an injury from equestrian of about 2,000 people. And then people who are not experiencing chronic pain, we just need to have a general, continue to look at that number of the people who are currently already experiencing chronic pain, but also how, as Lizzy mentioned, getting that transition from an acute injury into chronic pain. And so the survey has you can do it a single time. It takes about 10 minutes. And we're just looking at a snapshot of recent injury, physical activity, if you're experiencing chronic pain currently, and then quality of life factors. And then at the end of the survey, you can agree or not agree to provide an email. And if you do, we never see those emails. They're blocked from us. But you would get an email at 3 months after, 6 months, and then a year or 9 months after. So we can kind of follow that person for a year and see how chronic pain or those acute injuries might transition from acute to chronic pain.
What are you hoping to learn in this study? I'm a little fuzzy on that.
Yeah.
Lizzy, do you want to take that?
I gotcha. We have a few different things we're looking at here. Not only do we want to see maybe how does physical activity levels change, risk of injury, but also how you recover from injury. There's some research of mine that's showing that higher levels of physical activity, like more time spent being physically active, is actually kind of a protective factor when it comes to developing chronic pain. We also just want to see what is the impact of chronic pain on equestrian athletes. Does this cause them to not be able to participate as much as they previously did? Or are they having more issues with the function? Are there things we need to be targeting in future studies? So also looking at health-related quality of life. How well are you living in your life? How are you being impacted potentially by your injury or chronic pain or not? And that's the other thing is we also need people who aren't injured or not experiencing pain. We really need quite literally anyone who is riding could be filling out this survey. We are looking that vast because we just don't have a ton of research.
So where can people find the survey?
So you can find it on our social media. So we're part of the Equestrian Athlete Initiative, or EQA, EQUA, as we like to call it. So you can find us on Instagram and Facebook, as well as I think TikTok now. I think one of my undergrads has started one for us.
Yeah,
and
get
so
with
it. It's EQA and then _SRI, which is the Sports Medicine Research Institute that we work out of.
All right, I'll make sure I link that in the show notes too, so people can go take the study. I guarantee you Jamie will be. I know she'll be taking the study. She might have to do it on the right side because she can't turn left right now. But
I'm happy to help, Glenn. I'm happy to lend my experiences to the youth of America in getting their PhDs. So
my wife needs to fill this one out. She's only broken every bone in her body at least once.
I know, she's the perfect one for
she's
this.
the candidate for this. Well,
Sign
thank
her
you.
up.
Yeah, I will. I'm going to have her fill it out for sure. Thank you both for doing this. We really appreciate it. I'm glad somebody's studying. It tends to be, we talk to people from the University of Kentucky all the time, professors there and doctors there. They're doing all kinds of cool things, but it mostly involves the horses. So I'm glad to see that somebody's spending some time on the athletes too, on the human athletes. So appreciate that.
Well, we'll have to come back once we have results.
Definitely. Let us know when you have results. We'll have you back.
Absolutely.
Perfect.
And thank you so much for your time.
All right. Bye, guys. Thanks.
Non-GMO whole food nutrition is the basis of the entire Daily Dose Equine program. We never forget that natural is better and simplicity is key. Daily Dose Equine uses non-GMO whole food ingredients like alfalfa, timothy, peas, sunflower seeds, and flax. Daily Dose Equine doesn't use fillers, bulking agents, or leftovers from other industries, so you can feed less, yet improve body condition and energy. And our feeds are free from chemical residues and glyphosate. Find the perfect formulation for your horse at dailydoseequine.com. Select Daily Dose Equine formulations are available nationwide through Chewy.com and TractorSupply.com.
Recharge your training program with Equestrian Plus. Equestrian Plus brings together top riders, trainers, and professionals onto one video platform. Watch over 5,000 how-to training videos, clinic and event footage, exclusive training sessions, and more featuring top experts including 5-time dressage Olympian Stefan Peters, 5-time Olympic show jumper Ann Krasinski, Olympic eventer and silver medalist William Fox Pitt, and more. Join Equestrian Plus now and use promo code HRN15 for 15% off your first month. Visit EquestrianPlusPLUS.com to subscribe.
Time to learn why some days you're embarrassed to be part of the human race. In Jamie's Weird News.
Well, this is really exciting because now, Glenn, everybody, if they are looking through their news and they see something that's super weird and they're like, wow, that's so weird, you can email it to me. weirdnews@horseradionetwork.com.
You got it up?
Yay!
It's running? Yeah.
I got it up. It's up and running. And I got all of these stories were sent to that email. So
Good.
What was happening is I couldn't get any work done because I get so many weird news stories that I was like missing emails. So we now have weirdnews@horseradionetwork.com. I feel like it's like I have
it's easy to remember.
Baby.
Easy to remember.
It is. And so everybody, thank you very much. And the people that sent messages to that is Kaylin, Jenny, Clark, Aaron, Janelle, Kathleen, Kelly, and Anna. Nothing from Delia, who always sends it to me at the last second. And I'm disappointed, Delia. Okay. So first, where do you think we're going to start?
Florida.
You got it.
We're going to end in Florida
right.
too. I have one to end with today. So we'll end there too.
Well, this is a very international, but I thought we should start real close to home. Do you know where Miramar, Florida is?
No, but I can look it up.
Yeah, look it up. Tell me if that's close to you. Sounds like it's near Disney or something. Yeah. Anyway, there's a place called Guru Auto Sales. Think one of those like super small like car dealerships you see on the side of the road.
Nope, it's near Fort Lauderdale.
Near Fort Lauderdale. Okay, well, Guru Auto Sales is currently permanently closed. And I'll tell you why. Because this guy bought a Honda. So he buys his Honda and he's a kid. He's like 24 and doesn't understand about the payments going direct to the finance, not the dealership. And the buyer didn't receive a copy of the sales paperwork. So he didn't know he missed a payment within the first 2 months of the purchase. Guru Auto is the one who got the loan through. Hey, don't get a loan from anything called Guru Auto Loans. That is not a good dealer. So what happened, he missed his first payment. This is Miramar, Florida. So not a whole lot, I guess, going on down there. Anyway, he missed his first payment. Then they charged him a late fee. They didn't get that done. Well, Guru Auto received a letter from some finance company that they need to buy back the loan and they're going to be on the hook for it and all. It's just a hot mess of probably really terrible people doing really terrible paperwork. Well, the owner of Guru Auto saw, his name was Eric Haddad. he saw the car on the side of driving down the road that owed them a month payment. And he's like, I'm getting that car back. Because he's like, I'm going to be on the hook for this loan. I'm getting that car back. So he goes and gets right behind as a Honda. Okay. So this guy's driving a BMW and he sees the Honda that owes him payment. So he gets behind him and the Honda stops at a red light. So he gets out of the car and he's like, rips off the temp tag off the Honda Accord, holds it up to the door and he goes, get out of the car, get out of the car. Well, the driver's like, no, and just takes off. And so then
it's Florida. He could have gotten shot.
I mean, it's a terrible idea. So Mr. Haddad decided to follow suit and apparently caught up to him again at another light, jumps out of the car, runs up to the window, holds up his shirt, and he's like, the quote is aggressively screaming. He lifts up his shirt and shows his holstered Smith & Wesson pistol, and then the victim jumped out of the car. It was like, fine, take the car, take the car. I mean, this guy still doesn't really know what's going on. So the victim got in the car, ran, and called the police. So the police have to then, I mean, how's he going to go in his BMW's on the side of the road? Like, you can't, like, carjack somebody when you already have your own car. So it's a hot mess. So he calls the police. The whole thing gets... Basically, it was the guy had made the payment. It just went to the wrong place. So he didn't even know why his car was getting impounded, much less carjacked by this dude who's like holstering a weapon. Anyway, a federal jury has now returned a verdict of guilty to the federal carjacking statute.
Oh, wow.
He faces up to 15 years in prison. His sentencing is scheduled for January 9th.
Wow.
Apparently, you can't take the law into your own hands.
Wow.
So one of the comments was, this is simply an honor carjacking. Bad guru they are. Somebody else wrote, a December to remember sales event.
Okay, that's pretty good. That was pretty good. I like that one.
Okay, well, the next one here, it's got to pop up ad, so we're going to have to get rid of it. Okay, there it is. All right, so, you know, I mean, who doesn't love a golden retriever? They're like the cutest dogs, okay? So this family takes their golden retriever to the groomer, and then the groomer calls and says, he's ready to be picked up. And so they walk in at the end of the day to pick up their sweet, they call it the sweet golden pooch. This is such a stupid way they've written it. Anyway, this is in Minneapolis, St. Paul. So this family goes to pick up the dog and it's a golden retriever. And it's like, hey, everybody. And so they take the dog and dog jumps in the car because it's a golden retriever. It's just super happy. The dog's kissing everybody. And oh my God, I'm so excited. Gets in the car, been picked up with the groomer. Everything's great. And you take the dog home and the dog jumps out and the cats are like,
here's the wrong one. I don't know why that's funny, but that's funny.
I thought it was so funny. They picked up their wrong.
Well, they all do look alike, let's be honest.
They had no idea except for the cats were like, no, that's not our dog.
I feel like with any other breed you would know, but
you would, because like the golden retriever's like, hey, I love you so much. Let's go in the car. I love cars. Okay, cool. Like, oh, we're home. I love this house. Like everything is great. Turns out they were like, they felt so stupid. They're like, I can't believe it. They recognize our dog. Like that this is the quote, like, we're her parents. You think we would know something was wrong. You think we would know right off the bat it wasn't Emmy.
I wonder if somebody else went home with their dog.
They did. Oh. They both had to meet back at and by the way, there's a picture of them and they look identical, because they go to the groomer and they take their collars off and then they put that little like bandana on them after they probably cut every golden retriever the exact same, there's like a golden retriever cut. Yeah. So both dogs went home to different people, but the only way anybody knew was the cats for like, that's not Emma.
We went right after World Equestrian Center opened. They had a golden retriever show, and we thought, "Oh, we got to go to this." And oh my God, they all look identical. I mean, there were 300 of them there, and I don't know how they told them apart. I don't know. They all looked exactly alike.
I don't know. Don't let it loose. You'll never find it again. Oh, this lady in Germany, she found on the side of the road a little kitten, and it's like a little black and brown, like tabby type kitten. And so she, oh, kitty. And apparently this little tiny kitten was like fairly aggressive, but she was able to catch it. And she takes it to the Bergheim Animal Shelter, and she brings it into the animal shelter. There's a little kitten, and the lady had it for a while, and it was like refusing to eat, and was, I mean, it's tiny. It looks like it's like 4 weeks old. Apparently, the little kitten was very aggressive and refused to eat, and they were trying to like nurse it and like give it a little kitten milk and stuff, and it wouldn't. And just people at the shelter were like, "This is the meanest kitten we've ever seen."
Can I guess? Can I guess?
Go ahead.
Bobcat?
It was not a domestic cat. It's called they call it a European wildcat, which is basically a baby bobcat, like in Germany. So yes, she captured a little bobcat and took it. So now it's at a wildlife center and is being taken care of.
It's all pissed off at them.
It's so mad. They're like, I mean, it's this tiny little kitten. Like there's a video of it, and it's this tiny cute little kitten who's like. Like cats are evil. Okay. This is one who would like to kill you, and it's 4 weeks old. However, it reminded me of the time I was in Arizona. I had an arena that was by the road, and I see there's like you have to cross the street, but there's another road that like goes off like straight up. And I saw a puppy in the road. And so I'm on Edward, who had just come off the track. I've told this story before, but I'm like, oh my God, Edward, we got to go get that puppy. And I take this like racehorse who had to cross double yellow lines and completely freaked out having to cross the double yellow. But anyway, we get him over it, like on the pavement. We're going to go get this puppy. And I'm like, you need a puppy, come here. And as I start to get closer, it keeps running farther away. Like, well, he's a racehorse. We're going to have to get closer to it. So I pick up a little canter on the road, start cantering up to it. And we get close enough and I pull up real quick. And I was like, oh, that's a coyote puppy. Well, I'm going to catch that one. Good luck, buddy. Don't get hit by a car. I'm sorry I can't help you further. But yeah, the same thing happened to me, but I just never caught it. One more story.
All right.
I think this is in England, in Lancashire, Lancashire, Trodden, Lancashire. Don't mess with a farmer, okay? You can't mess with a farmer. However, the farmer should have probably behaved a little better. Okay, so it's a 52-year-old farmer, and a couple times he has seen these kids, one is like 20 and one is 17, driving across his farm field on a electric bike. One's a teenager, the other's in his 20s, and they have a quad bike, and they've been driving. No, they were on an electric bike. Sorry, getting the details confused. These kids are on this electric bike, and they rode across his field, and he has gone out there and be like, "Don't ride across my field." Well, they came back the next day and they were riding across his field. So what does this 52-year-old farmer do? Get off my land, and drives out there in his four-wheeler and leaps on top of the bicycle, taking these men down. Then he hog-ties them like
Rambo?
a dang cow. Hog-ties each one of them. I don't know
how does one guy take two down?
Two down. Wow. This is awful. He hog-ties them and chucks one on the front of his four-wheeler and one on the back of his four-wheeler.
The Rock was over there.
These guys are on their stomachs, and he drives them 4 miles
oh my God.
to the police station. these guys are on their stomachs on this four-wheeler. It's like a kid and another guy, like they were probably going to school, but this farmer was so mad about people driving on his land. He tackled him, hogtied him, and took him to the jail, to the police station. He had called and like the police were taking too long. So he was like, I'll just do it myself. He remember a remote property. He was like, this police were like, we were called to this remote property in Trodden, the guy who had detained two males. But while we were making their way to the property, we received a second call from the man to say, by the way, I'm at the police station with the two guys. The quote from the guy, the farmer came up behind us, jumped off his quad bike and tackled us to the ground. We couldn't move. I was on the back of the quad bike and my friend was on the front. Guess who got arrested?
Not the kids.
Not the kids.
Rambo did.
Yeah, seriously. This guy took like farm fields to, I mean, they won't go, but they won't go on his lawn again. That's
He's
for
a
dang
tough
sure.
dude. If he can take two, I mean, they're teenagers. Teenagers are pretty big.
Yeah. Can you imagine vaulting? This 50-something-year-old man jumped off of a moving four-wheeler onto a bicycle, electric bike in his field.
Tied one while the other was laying there?
How did he do that? I don't know, but they said it just happened so fast. He like, he must be an old rodeo guy. I don't know.
So he got arrested?
He got arrested. Yeah. He brought himself to the police station.
Kidnapping.
Yeah.
I have one for you. You know how every neighborhood has their own little Facebook page? Well, we live in our new places in Steeplechase Farms, which is a driving neighborhood here. And I don't know, there's maybe 100 little farms. But so there's been a rash of things posted on there. One of them is we're starting to spot rattlesnakes again. Like one of them was 6 feet long. So keep an eye out for them. But the other one is much, much, much worse. And it's about the size of your fingernail. And we've lived in Florida a long time and know about all the deadly things, I thought, until this year. And I think these were, I don't know if it was the hurricanes that stirred them up or what. Have you heard of a pus caterpillar?
Oh, God. No, but it sounds horrible.
Well, a pus caterpillar is this fuzzy little innocent-looking caterpillar. And I mean, I put a link down there, by the way. You can check it out. It's this innocent-looking caterpillar that you don't want to have anything to do with. So I saw one of the people in our community got bit by one a couple of years ago and ended up in the hospital. And apparently almost everybody that touches one of these ends up in the hospital. The pain is so excruciating. They have these they're almost like little barbs in their hair that looks super soft.
It looks like golden retriever hair.
It does. It does. But apparently the pain is so bad that like 80% of the people that touch one of these end up in the hospital. It's that bad. It's brutal.
It's one of the most venomous caterpillars in the U.S.
And I didn't know. I thought they were only in Florida. That's where you see most of them. But apparently they're in states between New Jersey and Florida, and as far west as Texas.
Oh, God.
They can fall out of a tree is where you find them, or usually when you're moving leaves around. So, I mean, we're on high alert right now. When we do anything outside, because they've been spotted in the neighborhood. When we're doing anything outside now, we're touching wood or turning something up. We have gloves on because I am not going to the hospital because of a pus caterpillar. But it's bad. And I had never heard of them.
Is it like poisonous to your system or just pain?
Pain, poisonous, all of those things. People end up in the ICU. And it's just, they get blisters. It's just bad.
Oh my God. Some people may have localized discomfort. Other people may have anaphylactic shock and need medical attention.
They say what you're supposed to do immediately is get Scotch tape, out of a Scotch tape dispenser and put it over where you touched it and do that several times to get the little barbs out, the little hairs out, because that's what's causing the problem. But who's in their right mind enough to do that when they're in pain and falling over on the ground? I don't.
I got stung by the pus caterpillar. Oh, grab me some tape. You know what? You just let somebody know that that's what they should do. Oh, God.
So that's what we've been hearing a lot about again.
Like, pee on it. Pee on it.
I don't know if it's the hurricanes or what it is, but the thing is, they look so cute and innocent. Apparently not so cute and innocent. So if you see a hairy little caterpillar, don't touch the damn thing. Just run.
New fear unlocked. Thank you.
There you go. That's how I'm going to end the show today. Auditors, hang on. We'll chat for a minute after. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. We really appreciate it. It's good to be back, and we'll be back again on Friday. Get your really bad ads into Jennifer at horseradionetwork.com. And we're picking winners for the prizes this week. So you have you have only till end of day Thursday to get your ads in to be counted for the prizes this month. And if they want to send weird news to you, what's that new place?
Weird news at horseradionetwork.com. And spay, neuter, and geld.